Well, Ohio will soon have 2 U.S. senators again. This afternoon, Governor Mike DeWine appointed his lieutenant governor to that seat. NBC4 State House reporter Natalie Fahmy joins us live. She went one-on-one with the lieutenant governor after the announcement. Natalie?
Lieutenant Governor John Husted says in the end, this was an easy decision about service. He tells me the conversations about taking this position started very organically with the governor. And by the end of the discussions and last night, all signs started pointing towards taking this job.
This is an opportunity, if you care about the country and you care about your state, that you can't pass up. And ultimately, when the governor offered me the opportunity yesterday, I gave him a thumbs up and I said, let's go do it.
Lieutenant Governor John Husted competed against several people for this appointment.
Hell of a lot. I don't know.
I promise you this. Every single one of them would have accepted this appointment to the U.S. Senate, except governor offered it to me.
Governor Mike DeWine says the decision came back to one thing: who is the best person to represent the state of Ohio? Governor Mike DeWine, for months now, has been describing what kind of person he wants to send to Washington. Why do you think you're the best fit for that job?
I'm not going to be self-congratulatory and say I'm better than all these other people. Look, I'm just a servant.
Husted says he's not quite ready to talk about what all he wants to do yet, but tells me he will focus on economic development, jobs, education, and supporting middle-class working families. He describes himself as a fiscal conservative, says he wants to lean in on technology issues and take some power from the federal government and give it back to the states. Overall, he says he will help Trump be successful. If it's, for example, a Trump policy that doesn't necessarily have Ohio's best interest or would hurt Ohio more than it would help, would you stand against that?
I will stand up for the interests of Ohio, and one of the things I've been able to do very well is find that middle ground where both sides can get what they want.
But for now, Husted says he needs to get some administrative things done.
I don't have an office, a desk, a chair, a pencil. I got a lot of work to do, and we're going to be leaving to go get that done real soon.
United States Senator can have an impact every single day if they're willing to put in the work and do the job.
DeWine says he's not ready to appoint someone to the lieutenant governor seat yet. He says one big decision at a time, and right now there is no timeline for when Husted will actually transition to the Senate. Local for you at the State House, I'm Natalie Fahmy, NBC4.
Thank you, Natalie. Husted has held public office since the year 2000, but he has always served on the state level. He was first elected state representative, worked his way up to the Speaker of the Ohio House, then served as state senator, was elected Secretary of State in 2010, and of course became lieutenant governor back in 2018.
Yeah, Colleen Marshall is here to tell us about how Husted's state record might shape his time on Capitol Hill.
And he certainly has a long record here. He touched on it today, saying he is a fiscal conservative who will continue his work supporting economic development here in Ohio. Now, he shied away from answering questions about specific policy debates and issues underway in Washington right now that he will be voting on in the U.S. Senate. He has no foreign policy experience, but he pledged to work for border security and fiscal restraint. Just after his appointment, Planned Parenthood released a statement saying it fears Husted will work against reproductive rights, even though Ohio voters enshrined those rights into the state constitution. Husted has been adamantly pro-life. He attributes that to starting his life in foster care before being adopted by a blue-collar family in Northwest Ohio.
I'm especially proud of our work on foster care, which Tina has been so instrumental in doing. Foster care and adoption, which are so special to me as an adopted kid. And protecting kids from big tech and online predators.
Now, as Secretary of State, he mandated uniform voting hours across the state and had some controversial positions that Democrats claimed restricted voting rights. Husted also worked for school choice and supports the school voucher program. During his time as lieutenant governor, he worked for job growth and to make Ohio what he calls the tech center of the Midwest. And he says he will continue to work for Ohio, but he will do that now from Washington.